and accounts payable is a rolling 12 months. Please note that it can take up to 2 days for data changes to reflect in Workbench. So what that means is maybe somebody did a return at the store. That might take 2 days for that inventory to be updated. Here's JIT vendors, sales and inventory bench. And can you please mute your phone, whoever that is? I'm getting a little bit of feedback. And so you should request SVP access for Workbench, not full access. Sales and inventory is also available on the Sears Business, and that's the email for access to that. Sorry guys, we're having a little bit of technical difficulties here.
Okay, let's see. Yes, the recording is going. Okay, you do it.
All right, there we go. Sorry guys.
Yep, that's fast.
All right, now we're up and running. Here's a little bit of access information. For full access, you want to be a power user. That means that the license fee, it requires a software license, that's $50, and then there's an annual maintenance fee of $100. Licenses are transferable, so if someone takes over your spot in your company, you can transfer that license. It's not a brand new $550 cost. This includes all decision support reports, sales, inventory, both DC and store, performance, and order tracking. It also includes all standard business process reports and vendor corporate save reports. So you can pull top 20 items, past due purchase orders, stores that have inventory on hand but no sales, as well as open purchase orders for ad or just regular non-ad purchase orders. Report Builder is a little bit different than SHG Workbench, and if you've been at our previous webinars, we've been focusing mainly in Workbench. We're going to go into Report Builder today. There is a very powerful interactive reporting tool. You can select custom time ranges, merchandise and geography selections, as well as custom metrics. There's 30 reports in 4 different categories. So there are sales of 11 reports, inventory 2, and order tracking 10. Plus you've got those vendor corporate saved reports that we talked about a little bit earlier. So for those of you who have access, you can go ahead and follow along, or just hang out, watch what I'm doing, and then go to try to replicate it again later. So from Report Builder, you can click into, from Workbench, you can click into Report Builder to create customized reports. So I'm going to exit, and I'm going to demo on the screen. There we go. So from Workbench, we're going to click all the way down at the bottom under Decision Support. We're going to go to Report Builder. So you'll probably click on Vendor Visibility Report Builder. I'm going to click on the full access right here that I have. The navigation should be the same though. So when we get in there, you'll see that there's a bunch of different top Report Builder reports that you could run. These include the sales and inventory analysis. That's found in the sales folder. Sales analysis, which we're going to get into, that's also in the sales folder. A comparison this year versus last year, dollars, units, and inventory. That's also in the sales. PO exception reporting, this is where you would track POs that haven't been receipted but are supposed to be incoming into the distribution centers. This is order tracking. Store inventory is found within the inventory folder, as well as DC inventory. Corporate PO distributions, you can find that in the order tracking. You can run a sales and time horizontal report that's found in sales. Form metric in stock. This is actually form metric in stock of presentation in stock. So are you guys in or out of stock? You can see customer in stock, other good metrics related to whether or not your product is on hand at the store where it's supposed to be, as well as a merchandise analysis, which is also found in the sales folder. So today we're going to be focusing mainly here in the sales and inventory folders. Sales, here's your inventory. And we're going to run a store inventory report. So as you can see here, this looks very, very different compared to Workbench. We've got along the side here an index of selections, things that are marked required. You need to fill out, otherwise the report will not run. It is optional, so you can load a bunch of different things here if you wish to further restrict your results. So for merchandise hierarchy, this is your business division, or if you're on Sears, it's like your division class. You make your selections here for division. I'm going to pull my old division, which was found within Kids World, and I was in infant hardlines. So to select this division, you need to make your selection, drill down, and then bring it over using that arrow. Then I'm going to go into the merchandise detail hierarchy. This is going to show you at what level your results are going to be. So corporate doesn't do a lot for me. I'd really prefer to see it at the subcategory level. I'd like to see subcategory, and I'd like to probably see my items. So I grab those metrics and I bring them over. You can further restrict any of the criteria if you choose to. I'm not going to restrict anything by these metrics. You can also, if you have a CSV file or if you have an item in particular in mind, you can bring over item. Then you see item ID and value. You would enter your item number right here and click OK. To load the CSV file, you would just save your items in one row and click Save as CSV, and then you would be able to import it here. And to get rid of it, I'm just going to go, I don't want to. You can also do the same thing for KSNs. It's the same process, or reporting IDs. Now you can see here there's a little flag under metric selection. These are actually the metrics that you're going to pull that are actually going to be available for you in the report. You can add all of these if you choose to. I'm going to stick with the ones that they've got populated here because I care about what's on hand, what's in my retail, and what's on order. Within the geography sections, if you've got a specific advertising area that you know, or region, or even a specific store, you can pull that across here. And then the geography detail will show you at what level that comes back. If you want to see her, you would pull back that store option there. If I want to care about right now the total format, I'm just going to leave it. You can load a store from files, so if you've got a store number in particular, you can do that. When I've got all my selections created here, you would go ahead and click Run Report. Because we don't want to share any vendor's data, we've got some formatted reports here, and I can show you the output in Excel as well. So this is what you would likely get back when you run a report for inventory. So you've got your item IDs here. I would do a text to columns in Excel to get this separated into columns. And you can see you've got your current store sellable, your retail dollars, and your on order information. And when we look at it in Excel, here's how it would pull back in Excel. So this is a little bit more workable, this data. Is there a question? Oh.
I think people need to mute not just their phones, but their microphone on their computer, because we're getting some pickup from that.
So here, this is a lot more manageable. You can go ahead and do your text to columns. You can sort. You can eliminate your total rows, own that data, and do what you'd like with that. All right. Any questions about the inventory report? Pulling that, modifying that, you know which prompts you need to fill out for it to work. My only caution is be careful on how many prompts within this screen that you pull back, because if you overwhelm it, if you just report something back for every single thing, you might not get your report to pull back. It could have too many rows. Awesome. All right, well, if there are no questions, we'll move on to the sales report. So it's found within the sales folder, and then it's the sales analysis. So in the sales analysis, we've got a couple more things that we need to fill out that are required. So, select any type of period of time that you wish. I really like to go with 13 weeks, the last closed 13 fiscal weeks. Gives you a good snapshot of any trend that you might need to see, and it's recent enough, but you've also got plenty of data with 13 weeks. Wanted to see those 13 weeks, week by week, you would want to restrict it here with the time detail, but I'm not interested in seeing week by week. I want the average, so I'm just going to leave that blank. Again, here you'll see we need to select the merchandise hierarchy that we're going to pull. I'm going to pull the same one I did before. And bring it across. And here, this corporate prompt, it doesn't really tell me what I need to know, so I'm going to, again, pull across my subcategory and my item. So these are the sales metrics that are actually going to pull and that will come across. If you want to add any of these, you're able to. I'm not interested in pulling any of these special things. I just care about total sales and the gross margin. But again, feel free to tailor this to however you need it to look. And similarly with the inventory report, you've got attribute restrictions. So if you've got some attributes that you want to restrict this by, you can go ahead and do that with these. And also you've got the option to pull specific items and KSNs and reporting IDs. For geography, we also have the same thing that we had in the inventory report. You're able to pull whatever you want. I'm going to actually try pulling a specific store. So to pull this specific store, I'm going to say ID. I clicked on that little hyperlink on form, and I say ID. And then value, I'm going to pull 7749, which is the .com store. I don't need to restrict it because I'm only filling one. I'm only pulling results on one store. And again, here's more metrics if you choose to restrict it. I would keep it simple and stick to where there's flags, or just keep it simple and stick to uploading items and KSN IDs. So once I've got everything in, I'm satisfied with all my prompts, I would click Run Report. And once you run your report, you get an option that you get an output within Workbench that looks like this. You can see here it's kind of formatted a little bit strangely, but you can still look at the data. Again, I prefer to look at it in Excel. It lets you modify this the way you need to. And you've got your sales data. So I pulled in this one, for this example, it looks like I pulled back KSN ID as well. I've got the cost, I've got my price, I've got everything that I need, good sales decisions, and where to put the product. Any questions on the sales report? How to pull it, how to navigate to it? I'd like to call out the help because if you do have questions, you're playing with the data, you're playing with the prompts, the Workbench help is a really good resource. You've got glossary, you've got actually instructions on how to pull different reports. It will open a separate window so that way you can be working within Builder or Workbench and look up the help topic that you need some research on. And if you guys want to see where that's located, it is right here under Help. Oops. And then I click into Help, and then it opens a separate window right here. So here's some contact information. If you do think of any questions that you might need to ask, you can contact me. I'm stephanie.noswick@searshc.com. If you're contacting vendor support, format your emails as we've got shown here below, and make sure you include your vendor pay-dones, your report name, selections that you've made in those screens, and include any screen prints that might apply to your question to help us solve for you.
Can I ask a quick question?
Of course, yeah, that's the time. Questions.
I actually don't have that decision support button on my Workbench.
That would be because it depends on your access type. So if we go back up here to this requires the software license, so you would need to upgrade your license.
Okay.
Yeah, and I do make a case for the report builder function because I mean it is really nice to be able to format the reports in Excel to be able to select which types of criteria you want in Report Builder. Workbench does offer some of that, but it's definitely much improved in Report Builder.
Can I ask a question about Workbench then?
Sure, go ahead.
So when I pull sales reports, it doesn't show me everything, like flash sales, it doesn't show me everything that we actually have in store. Does the sales report only show what has sold that week? Or should it show everything regardless of if it's sold or not, as long as it's in store?
Yeah, the flash report, I'm trying to remember, I feel like you should pull an inventory report to see what's actually on hand. I'm thinking that it's probably showing you just what's been selling, but let's see if we've got any selections that might be able to help you there.
Because the dates are also weird. They're showing 1/1/1900.
1/1/1900 is what the system will pull back if it doesn't know. So if it's been in stores for a really, really long time, or if it doesn't know when it was first receipted, then you'll get that 1/1/1900 in there.
Okay.
And then, so I'm from the flash screen. I'm going to open your help. So it does show sales and inventory info. I just don't know if it should show you some, if the stuff is supposed to be selling, it should be there.
Okay, I might then take this offline and email it.
Oh yeah, send me an email. Go ahead, and if you ask the question, then I'm sure other people might have the same question if they're looking at the same thing. So.
Right, because flash sales is the only way to pull sales in Workbench. That's the only webinar I've taken. So.
Flash sales, I mean, I would definitely play around and go through the help page because a bunch of different options. But Flash is definitely the most dynamic, and it gives you that markdown info too.
Okay.
But yeah, you can also pull the weekly sales by merchandise area for item sales, and then you can pull store sales. There's a couple of different options to pull sales in Workbench.
Okay.
But good question. Any other questions? And again, feel free if you think of something or if you're actually in there trying to pull stuff and questions come along, feel free to give me an email. All right, thanks so much for joining. Again, feel free to contact us if you do have any questions that come up. Have a good one.
Thank you.
Your conference is ending now. As requested by the host, please hang up.